Okay, so in today's video, I wanted to do a bit of a comparison video between the iPhone 14 Pro cinematic mode in 4K 30 FPS versus my Sony full frame camera that I use in basically all of my videos. This is the Sony a7C and I'm recording in 4K 30 FPS. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. If you're new to this channel is all about cameras and lenses. So if you want to see more videos like this one, consider hitting that like button, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. Okay, so what we've got here on the iPhone 14 Pro is that I'm shooting in cinematic mode, shooting in 4K 30 FPS, and on the Sony a7C, I'm shooting in 4K 30 FPS also. I'm using a Samyang 35mm lens and it's f1.4, so you should get some nice background blur on the Sony camera. But more overall, I wanted to see if the iPhone 14 Pro is something that I could consider using vlogging like this. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that the audio in this video is recorded externally, so it's actually not coming from the Sony or the iPhone 14 Pro. I just put it in the video, so, just to get the better audio quality. This is more of an image quality type of video. And obviously the Sony a7C is going to be much better for these types of videos, especially filming indoors. Now, I am using a studio lamp, but overall the full frame sensor of my Sony will do much better in low light circumstances. But outdoors, I think that the difference is much more subtle. Like, it would be a lot more difficult to notice the difference. But I just wanted to demonstrate, and not just for you, but also for myself, to see, could I do it? Could I make it work? Like, if I wanted to go like ultra minimalistic style and just have one device to record everything using my iPhone 14 Pro, would it be possible? And I would like to know what you think. Like, which image do you think looks better? I'm gonna guess that most of you are gonna go with the Sony camera on this one, and I know that I will personally obviously prefer the Sony, but is the iPhone 14 Pro doing a good enough job to make it like passable? Like, is it something that I could consider using for vlogging? Now, I did a vlogging test where I was comparing the iPhone 14 Pro with my GoPro, and those results there were pretty close. There were kind of ups and downs depending on which camera I wanted to use. Like, I could definitely see myself using both those devices, but there were definitely advantages using an iPhone and there were some advantages using a GoPro. But in this situation, I'm guessing that the only real perk of using an iPhone is to be able to upload it directly to YouTube. Now, that is to say, if I do a lot simpler vlogs where I don't do a lot of B-roll and a lot of editing, and I pretty much just do a talking head video like this one, but it will be possible. Now, as far as microphones are concerned, there are these adapters where I can actually connect a good microphone to my iPhone 14 Pro. It is totally possible. And when it comes to recording duration, yes, again, with the iPhone, I could just also plug it in, but the battery life is pretty good, even when you're recording a video like this one. But if I wanted to record the entire day, I could plug it into an external power brick or something, and I could basically film all day. Then there is the aspect of storage. Now, on the Sony, you can just put in more SD cards, so obviously it would be a much better solution. But on the iPhone, I have 256 gigs. I could definitely make this work, especially if I were to reduce the quality to 1080p. I'm recording this in 4K just to be able to see the difference. But overall, I think that the image quality should probably be looking really good on both the Sony, obviously, and the iPhone 14 Pro. Anyway, this is a very short video, mind you that, but it's just to demonstrate some key differences. Now I'm gonna just try a little bit of thing. I'm gonna get a bit closer just to see if both cameras keep up, if they can both see my face, like how fast does it actually focus on my face? Does it actually work like that? Obviously, the bokeh effect on the iPhone 14 Pro, it's software induced, meaning it's not real bokeh. It's something that Apple invented, basically using a software algorithm to sort of make the background blurry. Now, if I move a lot, like very quickly, it doesn't always capture me correctly, but overall, looking at the samples that I've seen, testing it outside and indoors, I think it looks pretty good actually. And there is also the aspect that with your iPhone, you always have it in your pocket, you can always do it. The one thing that I do like to say is that now I'm recording with the 48 megapixel main sensor and I can't actually see myself on the screen. On the Sony, I do have a flip out screen, so I can always see myself when I'm recording. I can't really do that on the iPhone unless I flip over to the front facing camera, which is also very good, but it's not as good. And now, just for the fun of it, let's switch to the front facing camera and see if it still works pretty well. Okay, and now we are recording with the front-facing camera on the iPhone 14 Pro, and now I can actually see myself. This is a huge plus. And on the Sony, nothing has changed. It's the same setup, but now at least I can see myself if I'm in focus or not. And moving in a bit closer, I'm still in focus on both cameras, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty dependable. Like using something like a Panasonic GH5, it's not as easy to always be in focus, but on the Sony and on the iPhone 14 Pro, it's surprisingly easy. And so I'm very pleased with the result here. Now, if I, zoom in, do it a bit closer, maybe it's not gonna look as sharp, as noise-free on the iPhone, but this is definitely passable. I could definitely make this work. And if I was to vlog with the iPhone 14 Pro only, then I actually do think that the front-facing camera is good enough for situations like this. The background blur, because it is blurry, it actually hides a lot of the noise output that you get from that tiny sensor on the iPhone. So that's pretty good. And on the Sony, you pretty much never have to worry about noise, especially if you have something like a f1.4 lens on. So that's always a big plus in my book, at least. Anyway, this video is a bit short, I know, but I just wanted to show you a little bit, and this is what it looks like basically if I'm recording with both of these cameras, so you can see the difference for yourself in case you're considering getting one of these devices as a vlogging device. Now you know, and now I know. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like button to make a small YouTuber very happy. Okay, bye-bye.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe.